he's in a dangerous area. You know what I mean? Like, not too many. I think, look, I'll forgive him for the things that he said because I already identify with something's going on that I don't understand that. That's him doing what he does, like with Kanye.
I know when I put that up that they were gonna come for me for real. And that's when I got knocks on my door and familiar faces, saying, hey, maybe you should come to a retreat.
As far as the affiliation with him dealing with government informants, it's no secret.
Right.
At all. Do I think it's crazy that nobody brings that to, nobody brings that subject up? Yeah, I believe that, yeah, of course, they affiliating with them.
The reason why she's worried about how Jay would respond is because she's the CEO of Rock Nation, but in her former life, she was a federal informant. In 1994, Desiree Perez was arrested for bringing in 35 keys of Griselda Blanco into Miami. Under pressure, she agreed to wear a wire for the DEA.
Hey, Pop! Jay-Z, I know you got killers. Please don't send them out my head.
All right. So it looks like Jay-Z is getting dragged into yet another snitching scandal, and this time, it's coming from two big names, 50 Cent and one of Jay's own childhood friends. 50 just sided with Kanye after Kanye recently went on yet another rant against Jay-Z and Beyonce, even taking shots at their twins. But now, 50 has officially entered the conversation, coming for Jay-Z with some serious accusations. And let's not forget, 50 just finished calling Demetrius, Big Meech Flannery, a rat. But apparently, he's got a bigger snitch on his mind, now Jay-Z. And this is where things get even messier. A resurfaced interview with one of Jay-Z's childhood friends is making rounds online, where the guy claims Jay actually tried to paint him as a snitch, while secretly working with the feds himself. But that's not all. After the recent passing of Irv Gotti, new reports have surfaced alleging that Jay-Z and Diddy worked with the feds to block an Al Black-owned music distribution company from taking.
And it was easy metrics because instead of you recouping $1 million, you recoup $1.1 million. Right? Shortly after that, the feds raided me. Whatever.
So, does 50 Cent actually have a legit reason to call out Jay-Z, or is this just another case of 50 being 50 using any excuse to throw shade at his longtime rival? Well, it seems fans are divided on this one. Some are calling out 50 for enabling Kanye, arguing that he's just using this as another way to push his petty feuds. However, others are praising 50 for being one of the few people in the industry bold enough to publicly challenge Jay-Z. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here, so let's jump right into it.
Offering a description is crazy, but when you start getting in certain areas, they're not going to actually be compassionate for what's going on with him, or because he's not crazy where he doesn't know what he's saying. He knows exactly what.
So while everyone is busy dragging Kanye for his ignorant comments about Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids, 50 Cent is out here doing the exact opposite. Instead of condemning Kanye's behavior, 50 is actually joking about struggling to keep up with Kanye's level of hatred for Jay-Z. Now, in case you missed it, Kanye went on an unhinged rant on X, taking aim at the Carters in the most disgusting way possible, even calling their twins, Rumi and Sir, the R-word, implying they're challenged. But of course, Kanye didn't stop there. After facing massive backlash, he came back claiming he feels bad for Jay-Z, but still took the opportunity to air out every single grudge he's been holding on to for years. From being mad that Jay-Z and Beyonce didn't show up to his wedding with Kim Kardashian to blaming Jay for picking Kendrick Lamar over him to headline the Super Bowl halftime show, Kanye let it all out. He wrote, "I love Jay-Z, and I do feel bad. I always felt like the black sheep, like I wanted family in this music is. I'd run on stages thinking I was doing the right thing and would always be a slight of not coming to my first wedding. Him putting Kendrick on the Super Bowl over me, or even us never being invited to Ish, taking jabs about my red hat on D. I felt like both him and his wife could have helped me have more leverage with my kids. They could have used their cultural position to not just watch the Kardashians run me over. Ish hurts. So both of them, cause when I needed them, it was me. But if you thought that was the end of it, it must be your first time witnessing one of Kanye's rants on X." He later came back with even more posts about the Carters, saying that Jay-Z and his wife are slaves to the Jewish system, and that he will never apologize for his comments about their twins. Kanye wrote, asterisk, "There will never be an apology to the Carter family until they help me with my children. The Carters and the Kardashians are basically the same, except the Kardashians are trafficking." Asterisk now, circling back to 50 Cent, rather than calling Kanye out, he decided to egg him on. 50 reacted to Kanye's rants against the Carters on Instagram, sharing a screenshot of Kanye's post about the Carter twins alongside a photo of Kanye's upcoming album, Bully. In the caption, 50 wrote, asterisk, I didn't post anything yesterday because the kids are arted. I can't compete with that kind of ish. I'm listening to his album now. Asterisk, and, of course, as soon as Kanye saw that 50 acknowledged him, he wasted no time jumping on it. He took to X to say he's humbled by 50's support after calling out Jay-Z and standing by Diddy. But let's not get it twisted. 50 later made it clear that he's not exactly on Team Diddy. He's just subscribing to this whole asterisk F, the entire industry asterisk wave that Kanye's been riding. 50 wrote, asterisk, as much as I don't want to agree with Diddy on anything, just smile. Yeah, smile, and F them all. Asterisk man. F him. But hold up, what kind of alternative reality is this? Where 50 Cent is siding with someone who's actively supporting Diddy and calling for his release. When 50 has spent years preying on Diddy's downfall, and let's not forget 50 is literally working on a documentary about Diddy's crimes as we speak.
After months of teasing, he would be unleashing a Diddy Do It documentary. It's now official. The big headline, Netflix is producing a docuseries from Curtis 50 Cent Jackson about the federal charges of trafficking and assault and the allegations against Diddy Combs. 50 tweeted the announcement. I've been telling y'all about this weird expletive. You didn't believe me, but I bet you believe.
So, what's really going on here? Does this mean that 50 actually has more hate in his heart for Jay-Z than he does for Diddy? Because right now, it's definitely looking that way. But if you thought this was just a one jab, think again. Some insiders are now saying that 50 is gearing up to drag Jay-Z the same way he did Big Meech by calling him a snitch. So, is this about exposing the truth? Or is 50 just playing his favorite game of industry chess? And where did these snitching allegations against Jay even come from? Well, for one, Jay-Z's childhood friend DeHovan recently put both Jay-Z and Beyonce on blast, claiming that Jay has deep connections with federal informants, including his right-hand woman, Desiree Perez. And according to DeHovan, that's the real reason Jay's been able to stay untouchable, while all his former friends and business partners, including Diddy, are getting taken down one by one. Now, if you don't know who DeHovan Herbie is, he's an OG from Jay-Z's past, one of his closest former friends from way back in the Marcy projects. At one point, Jay and DeHovan were so close that Jay even became the godfather to DeHovan's daughter. But one moment changed everything between them, and that's when DeHovan says Jay-Z showed his true colors. One night, Jay and DeHovan went uptown to re-up with their plug, picking up 450 grams. Out of nowhere, they got ambushed. DeHovan reacted fast, creating a distraction so Jay could get away. But when DeHovan caught up with him later, something was off, he couldn't breathe. That's when Jay realized DeHovan had been shot. Despite his injuries, DeHovan somehow managed to flag down a cab. But before heading to the hospital, he handed Jay all the money and the product they had on them, telling him to grab his mom and meet him at the hospital. Jay did exactly what he asked. But fast forward some time later, and things took a turn. The two of them got caught up in a case, but while DeHovan got hit with a 5-year sentence for the stolen substances, Jay walked away, and here's where the fallout began. DeHovan claims Jay abandoned him, leaving him to fight the case alone. Meanwhile, Jay turned around and accused him of snitching. He even sent shots at him in the track, no hook, rapping. F*** DeHovan. For caving, DeHovan has denied those snitching allegations time and time again, but the damage was done. Jay-Z's empire kept rising while DeHovan got pushed to the sidelines. But now DeHovan is finally getting the chance to tell his side. And in a recent Real Life Productions interview, he alleged that Jay has been untouchable all these years because he's got powerful protection thanks to his connection with Desiree Perez, ROC Nation's president and a former federal informant.
The head of Roc Nation, Desiree Perez.
Good evening, everyone.
I say shout out to Desi. Shout out to Desi. She got me out the contract.
Roc Nation.
Yeah, shout out to Desiree.
Okay. You know about this?
Nah.
Desiree Perez became a cooperating witness for the DEA in the 1990s. She got arrested in 1994 for possession of 35 kilos of coke.
Desiree Perez and the whole wicked system of Roc Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes, yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter.
So, DeHaven explained how he got set up back in 1994, while Jay-Z walked away without a scratch. And then he brought up Desiree Perez, saying it's no coincidence that Jay stayed untouched.
And keep in mind, the chick had a plan too. Like, yo, we could do things. And I can guarantee you the conversation with Emery, even when Emery came home and seen, he came home and seen the same thing. Yo, you dealing with her?
Who's the chick?
Desiree.
According to DeHaven, Jay-Z probably cut a deal and turned his back on his former crew, just so he could secure his spot with the industry's power players.
People that's talking about that snitch, we ain't gonna be breathing in the same ear. Them, that's what you worried about. Them that don't have nothing sitting home. Where you gonna be if you don't get on this side? Tell hell, get on this side. I can see that conversation happening and move all his integrity and morals to the side. But to act like, yo, I'm gonna join forces and do the same thing and play this like this? Come on, man. That's humiliating. And now I got you as a yes man. Like, yo, bro, you couldn't even speak up for me. You know what I'm saying? So all of that shit is twisted. And that's how all those conversations, that's how they think of us. They like, really, those guys talking about snitching this and that, they ain't, what you worried about them for? They don't be in our parties.
DeHaven also revealed that Jay-Z initially promised to have his back, but then completely switched up on him.
When did they come to you and say, yo, look, we gonna let you ride. Somebody gonna have to take the fall though, because I wasn't around for that investigation. So we're gonna throw DeHaven in. So when they threw me in, and as the case revels, Emery take his plea deal, my other co-defendant take his plea deal, and I fight. I'm fighting. I got my lawyer in my ear talking about, yo, if I can get you 20 years, if I can get you 20, would you take 20? Cause I ain't got no off on the table. They want the L from me. And I'm telling my lawyer, we ain't looking at no paperwork yet. What we doing here? Right. You understand? Well, we ain't looking at no paperwork yet. And I ain't gonna take 20. 20 is life to me. We gonna fight. Then when I do look at the paperwork, I'm not in none of the...
And according to DeHaven, Jay cutting him off wasn't just a personal decision. It was probably part of the deal he took from Desiree and her federal connections to secure his own come-up.
I win my case and come home. You don't want to talk to me.
You think somebody put a battery in his back? Maybe they put...
You don't want to talk to me. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, what is the reason why you don't want to talk to me? So is it that? You scared to tell me, say, yo, man, they got me. It was nothing I could do. So why you say you was gonna help me? You know what I'm saying? Then it just don't add up at some point. And then how's everybody going to jail but you?
And then, when they asked DeHaven if Jay-Z might be next to fall, after Diddy, he dismissed the idea, saying people are looking at it all wrong. According to DeHaven, Jay isn't just another target, he's in the same circle as the people who took Diddy down. So when folks talk about the higher-ups, the Illuminati, or whatever name you want to give it, they're not coming for Jay. Because, as DeHaven put it, Jay is them.
They is them people. If you do the history of most of the people that got in trouble in the industry, big trouble, who they went to for help? When Lil Wayne was in trouble, who'd he go to? When Meek Mills was in trouble, who'd he go to? Meek Mills said it himself. Desiree helped me. You understand? So, how could he be up next? You know what I'm saying? He is them people. They go to him when they got problems. And what they gonna say if he don't come up in nothing? What they gonna say? Told you, he ain't got nothing to do with that. They still gonna cover it up anyway. You talking about a woman that had a relationship with the feds for 20-something years, right? When you working for them, you got an agent, your agent that's in charge of you. You think she don't have no relationships with over the years with all these agents that became retired and connected and this and that and the third till they just know shit? She got power.
But here's the thing, DeHaven's story isn't the only time Jay-Z's name has been tied to snitching allegations. There's also that whole situation involving Suge Knight and Irv Gotti. where Jay and Diddy were allegedly working behind the scenes to block an all-black Don music distribution company. According to industry insiders, back in the early 2000s, Sugi Irv and Jay Prince were trying to create a major distribution network that would give black artists full control over their music, cutting out the need for major labels. But before they could make it happen, the feds stepped in with the infamous hip-hop task force, hitting them with legal troubles, left and right raids, RICO cases, and major investigations. And who ended up coming out on top? Jay-Z and Diddy.
Suge Knight was trying to meet up with Dame Dash, Irv Gotti, Jay Prince. They was trying to get a distribution company.
It wasn't a distribution.
It was a union. Honestly, it was all Suge's idea.
It was all his plan, and it was a hell of a plan, man. He was like, yo, we get all the artists together. And he wasn't just talking about hip-hop, every artist in general. And he was like, okay, say you got $1 million budget.
So instead of $1 million, you'd have $1.1 million with $100,000 going to the union.
Now, this will all get recouped back to the artist. It'll go towards an annuity. It'll go towards a retirement fund.
And it was easy metrics because instead of you recouping $1 million, you recoup $1.1 million.
Someone left that meeting talking about our move. Unfortunately, the feds hit all of us at the same time, which I don't think was a coincidence.
Jay went and told. He went and told. He blew the spot up. Feds came in and started hitting cases because they all said, yo, we're going to put our money together. Now think about it now.
And according to Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, there's reportedly a pile of paperwork over at Bad Boy Records that allegedly shows Diddy's deep involvement with the feds. As for Jay-Z, Gene didn't straight up say that but he did mention hearing from multiple reliable sources that Jay might have helped the feds out in some way.
When Puff, Kirk Burrows, that's the other person that was with them, they go up to the feds with all this paperwork, you understand? And I mentioned this before, you understand? They not only talking about the extortion stuff, they talking about how they trying to be made to have this what you call this promotion, this distribution thing. Now other people coming out talking about it. They're putting Jay-Z was a part of it. They telling their story, and it all is coincide what we said years ago.
Know about that? So Jay-Z, he told you?
Said that years ago, man. Said that years ago. What are you gonna do? They gonna do whatever. Yo, listen to me. They're the reason why rap in New York went down the drain. They made sure that these young cats didn't come up with platforms and didn't come up with situations.
Now, circling back to 50 Cent and that whole Kanye mess, this is where things get really interesting. Reports are surfacing that once 50 is done with his documentary on Diddy, he's allegedly planning to go full throttle on Jay-Z and do a deep dive into all these snitching allegations that have been floating around for years. As for fans, opinions are split. Some people are calling 50 petty, saying he's just using this as another way to air out his personal beef with Jay. But then you have others who are low-key praising him, saying it's about time someone with his power in the game finally exposes Jay's alleged skeletons. Let's not forget, 50 and Jay have had a long-standing feud, and just recently, 50 even claimed that Jay is still trying to block his business moves out of spite.
And it's ill because when the NFL has no issues, things like that, this is why I was saying I knew what old boy was doing. Right. With the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Because he was doing like yeah, guys. He was doing some wild shit. Because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me. And I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team? But they got an issue with my performance, right?
And when he says "oh boy" for the audience, that
yeah,
I'm talking about Jay-Z. This was discussed before. Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just
threatened.
Yeah,
possibly.
Not even threatened. You know, I think it's just when you take the competition from like our culture is competitive, man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. He don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5. Right.
And 50's longtime friend Tony Yayo co-signed 50's claims during his recent appearance on Vlad TV, hinting that Jay-Z has been making shady moves for years because he's salty about 50.
Remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. Come on.
Wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super
You didn't
Bowl?
know that? Yeah, he didn't want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some hated. You gotta think, 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember? I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent?
That was a long time ago.
That was what, 9? What? Was
Yeah,
that
but,
9?
but after that, they did a song together. Remember
Yeah,
the whole,
of course,
the
but
whole
50
Gina
was
sneaker
50 was
thing?
always competition for. Then remember Jay said, "Yo, 50's coming." He told Siegel and them, and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like he's on a whole nother level. You gotta remember he came after Jay and Rockefeller. G-Unit came, and people might on G-Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody has outsold.
So it's clear that this isn't just about snitching rumors for 50, there's some real personal heat there. But now, with all these allegations coming from people who were once close to Jay, 50 might see this as the perfect moment to finally expose what he believes are Jay's shady dealings. But let's be real, Jay-Z is one of the most powerful figures in the industry, and his empire is solid. Even if 50 goes all in, it's a major uphill battle. So is this a losing fight before it even begins? Now, we want to hear from you. How do you feel about 50 and Kanye bonding over their shared hate for Jay? Do you think there's any truth to these snitching allegations? And should 50 really take it upon himself to go after Jay? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't miss out on what's coming next.